y'all, it's Terrella from yokieB.com. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing how to make my color outside the lines beanie pattern. This pattern is actually a free pattern on my blog. If you'd like to check out the written version, I will link it down below. But I'm just going to be taking you through step by step on how to create your very own super cute and cozy color outside the lines beanie. I'm actually going to be making this beanie for a friend of mine, and it's really fun to try out different yarns in my pattern. So the original yarns that I used were the petite wool from We Are Knitters, and the original needle size and all of that you can find in the pattern that is linked below. Today I'm going to be using this Mary Maxim Aspen yarn. It's not a yarn that I'm familiar with, but I do not have a quote-unquote craft store near me. I have like an old-fashioned pharmacy where they have a few yarns, and I thought this was kind of fun because it was Aspen where I live. So also this is Lion Brand Wool Ease, thick and quick, in the color Spice, I believe. This is actually the color Hot Springs. Let me know in the comments below if you've tried this yarn before. This is a number 5 bulky weight yarn, and the petite wool is somewhere in between a heavy worsted or Aran and a bulky, and so it's very similar to this, but I think that this is a little bit thicker. So you can use whatever yarn works for you. Just make sure to check the gauge on that. I will pop the gauge down here so that you can check that. I actually went down a needle size to get closest to my gauge here. So today I'm going to be using a 5mm US 8 knitting needle. I love these bamboo knitting needles from Amazon. They are not like the highest quality you can get, but I use them all the time. I love that they're perfect for beanies. It's like the exact perfect size for beanies, and they work great. So I'll link those down below if you'd like to check those out. You will also need a tapestry needle and a stitch marker. And then if you'd like to make a pom-pom, of course a pom-pom maker or a fur pom or whatever you prefer. So to get started, go ahead and grab your yarn and your knitting needles, and you can cast on in whatever your preferred cast on method is. I'm going to be using the long tail cast on for this, and we're going to start out by casting on 70 stitches. Okay, so we'll go ahead and cast on 70, and I will meet you back to join in the round. Once you have your 70 stitches on your needles, you're going to grab your stitch marker, pop it on your needles, and we are going to join to knit in the round. And you'll just continue knitting every round for rounds 1 through 30 or until your beanie measures approximately 6 inches from the cast on edge. We're going to be folding this and making a double brim out of it. I love a double brim, it's super cozy. So just continue knitting, just make sure at each new round you just slip your stitch marker to keep your place. And I will meet you back once we have reached round 30 or when your beanie measures 6 inches from the cast on edge. So once you have reached round 30 or your beanie measures approximately 6 inches from the cast on edge, you're going to join your double brim. Now I do have a tutorial video for this. I'm just going to go ahead and show you really quickly how to do this if you've never done it. You're going to take the cast on edge of your beanie and fold it under to where it meets your working stitches here. So you're going to do that as best as you can all the way around. It's not going to be perfect until you start making your stitches. You can go ahead and remove your stitch marker for now. The really important part here is just to make sure that you have one cast on edge stitch for every working stitch. So you want to make sure that your double brim doesn't become crooked or anything like that. You want to make sure your stitches line up perfectly. So what you're going to do is turn your cast on edge so you can see the stitches here. Now we're going to insert our needle under one cast on edge stitch, and you're going to knit these 2 stitches together. So one of your working stitches and your cast on edge stitch together. And then we will do the next stitch. Make sure you don't skip any. Place your needle under that next cast on edge stitch and knit it together with a working stitch. And you will just continue on this way all the way around your brim. Just make sure not to miss any of your stitches. So this is round 31. And that is what forms our super squishy and cozy double brim. I love a double brim. So continue on with round 31, knitting one cast on edge stitch with one working stitch all the way around, and I will meet you back at the end. So once you have joined your double brim all around, and now you have a super cozy double brim, we're going to cast on 2 stitches using the knitted cast on. I do have a tutorial for this technique as well, but I'm going to go over it really quickly right here. In order to do the knitted cast on, you're going to insert your right hand needle as if you're about to knit, bring your yarn over, and pull up a loop, but do not slide this stitch off your needle. Instead, bring that loop up and around, and your left hand needle will go behind that stitch and you'll pop it on your left needle. Okay, let's do it one more time because we're casting on 2 stitches. Insert your right hand needle as if you're about to knit, yarn over, pull up that loop, leave this stitch on, and bring your left hand needle around the back and pop that loop on. And now you've got 72 stitches. And now we're ready for round 32. So for round 32, we are going to be joining our color B. I'm super excited. I always love to add in new colors. So just make sure you have a long enough tail so that it doesn't come out. And now we are going to knit 2 with color B. And we are going to slip 1 knitwise. Now this is super easy, and just like it sounds, you're going to insert your needle as if you are about to knit, but instead of knitting, you're just going to slip that stitch onto your right hand needle. And then we're going to knit 2, slip 1 knitwise. And we're going to repeat that all the way around until you get to the beginning of your round. Knit 2, slip 1 knitwise. And once you've reached your last knit 2 and slip 1 knitwise of round 32, go ahead and place your stitch marker back on your needle. And for round 33, we are just going to knit every stitch in color B. So I will meet you back at the end of round 33. Just keep knitting all the way around. So for the remainder of the color work portion of your beanie, you're going to be leaving both of these yarns attached and just alternating every 2 rows. We now have done our 2 rows in color B, and we are ready for color A again. So grab your color A. We're going to be doing the opposite of round 32. So instead of knitting 2 first, we are going to slip 1 knitwise and then knit 2. Slip 1 knitwise, knit 2. Slip 1 knitwise and knit 2. And you will continue this way all the way around your round 34. And I will meet you back for round 35. And continuing on with color A, we are going to knit every stitch for round 35. And I'll meet you back when we're done. So for rounds 36 through 63, you're just going to repeat that same stitch pattern that we just did on rounds 32 through 35. And I will meet you back for the decrease portion of the beanie. We are now ready for our decrease rounds. We are going to continue with this super cool stitch pattern for our decrease rounds. However, we are only going to be decreasing on the rounds where you are just knitting. So when you're making your slip stitches, we're not going to be decreasing on those rows, just the rows where you're knitting only. So for round 64, we are going to go ahead and begin with our color B stitch pattern. So that starts with knit 2, slip 1 knitwise, knit 2, slip 1 knitwise, all the way around. And I will meet you back for our first decrease round, which is next. We're now ready for round 65 and we are continuing with color B. This is our first decrease round, and what you're going to do here is you're going to knit 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we are going to be knitting 2 together. If you've never knit 2 together before, it is super easy and it's just like it sounds. Instead of knitting 1 stitch, you're going to insert your needle knitwise behind 2 stitches, yarn over, and knit those stitches. Okay, knit 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Knit 2 together. And you're going to repeat that all the way around, and I will meet you back for round 66. So at the end of round 65 you should have 60 stitches. We decreased 12 stitches. So if you want to double check your stitch count, and now we are ready to work with color A again. So let's go ahead and grab that. And we're going to continue on with that same stitch pattern for color A, which is slip 1 knitwise, knit 2, slip 1 knitwise, knit 2, all the way around. And I'll meet you back for our next decrease round, which is round 67. So for round 67, we are going to continue with our color A, and we are going to be decreasing another 12 stitches. So go ahead and knit 3, 1, 2, 3, and again, like we did on round 65, knit 2 together. Knit 3, knit 2 together. And we're going to do that all the way around. And I will meet you back for round 68. You should now have 48 stitches after round 67. Go ahead and switch back to color B for round 68 and just go back to that color B stitch pattern, which is knit 2, slip 1 knitwise, all the way around, and I will meet you back for our next decrease round. We are now ready for our final decrease round with color B. So after this you can go ahead and fasten off and secure color B. We're going to be decreasing another 12 stitches, so we'll have 36 stitches after this round. For round 69, go ahead and knit 2, 1, 2, and knit 2 together. Sometimes it can be a little tricky with your slip stitches, but you just have to kind of hold on to them a little bit tighter so they don't slip off. Okay, knit 2 and knit 2 together. And we're just going to repeat that pattern, knit 2 together all the way around until we get to the end of round 69. Go ahead and fasten off your color B and secure it, and we will do our final rounds with color A. And I will meet you back for round 70. We have now reached the final 2 rounds of our beanie. Yay! So for round 70 and 71, we're going to be working with color A. I've already fastened off my color B and secured it right here. So we're going to finish out our beanie with color A. So just continue on with that color A stitch pattern, which is slip 1 knitwise, knit 2 all the way around, slip 1 knitwise, knit 2, and I will meet you back for our final decrease round, round 71. And for our final round, round 71, we are going to knit 2 together all the way around. That will give you 18 stitches when you're done. And I will show you how to finish your beanie once you're done with round 71. Once you have knit 2 together all the way around for round 71, you can remove your stitch marker, and you're going to need approximately a 15-inch tail or whatever feels comfortable for you, because we're going to be weaving this yarn into our stitches so that we can close the top of the beanie. Grab your tapestry needle and thread your color A through your tapestry needle, and we are going to be putting each of these stitches, each of these 18 stitches, onto our leftover yarn strand. So you can kind of inch your needles off of the stitches as you put them on your tapestry needle. You just keep bringing them around. And you can do more than one at a time if you need to. Okay, and then pulling your yarn tightly, but just be careful not to tear your yarn, you're going to close the top of your beanie. Make sure that it's nice and secure, and then you will insert that yarn tail into the middle of the circle where you just closed your beanie. Bring it to the inside, and then you will secure on the inside of your beanie. Go ahead and secure it. Then of course you can trim your ends and weave them in. Turn your beanie right side out. And now you have got a super cute and cozy new beanie. Congrats on your new beanie!